Welcome back to another edition of Racing It Out. It is a very quiet, somber day as racing season, for NASCAR Canada at least, has come to a close.
The competitive season has come to a close. Racing season never really ends. It slows down a little bit and gets a little quieter. Everybody takes a moment to sort of catch their breath and decompress a little bit at different times through the next, couple of months. I find as soon as you get through the holidays like Christmas and New Year's and stuff, it's
coming back.
Click, full speed. Everybody's like, okay, what's happening? What's going on? And you're away again. So I'm good with that. A little time to breathe is fine.
I mean, we already have people in our DMs asking us when the schedule's coming out. So it's like the day the season ends. It's like, what are we doing for 2023? It's like, can I have a weekend off first, please?
No. And ideally, it would be nice to have the 23 schedule available now so that people do have something to chew on over the next couple of months. Like, hey, maybe I can make a road trip to this race. I'm just thinking for fans and stuff, but maybe I'll do a road trip. This is
and you don't need to have
I want to go to.
The tickets on sale yet.
Oh no,
it's fine. But it's like that way people can book flights, even look at flights and track flights. But it's like, it helps me in terms of content, because it's like, then I can plan ahead and use the schedule as content pushing forward to 2023. Because I mean, right now it's like right now dropping it, I don't think would be the best idea, because there's a lot going on with NASCAR down south, which we'll get into.
Sure.
But I think when we do it, which is typically like we've done it historically kind of the beginning of December, even like mid-November after like Cup Championship is done, you're kind of getting into, okay, now it's a slow season for everything.
Sure. Yeah.
Really only Formula One's going on right now.
And that championship will be over. So yeah, it'll be fine. Let's do something.
I haven't been following F1.
Oh yeah. It's
Max.
Max is going to clinch it in no time. So yeah, it's a foregone conclusion. Sorry, but it is. But no, so we'll wait for the schedule to come about. And I know there's a lot of things that are going to go on behind the scenes too. For those that aren't aware of all the inner workings, Tony Spiteri is the new general manager, and I know he has.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah, I had a real quick conversation with him. He has a lot of things that he wants to do. Probably a lot of them's going to involve you, as a matter of fact. So that's good news for everybody, because the great year that we've had, let's not slough that off either too.
Yes.
The great season that we've had after 2 years of navigating through COVID times.
Fucking season.
Yeah, it was a terrific season, and this is going to be, I think, a really nice launching pad to take even another couple of steps to elevate the series in terms of prominence, and probably attract more teams and drivers with interest, because I know there have been a lot of, calls and messages exchanged. I think there's going to be a lot of track interest in bringing the Pinty series to their venues that haven't been there for a while, or haven't been there at all previously. So I think there's a lot of that to look forward to. And we've got great young drivers who have come into the series.
Brandon Watson won his first race. That was sick.
I know he was going to. I didn't get a chance to, but he was going to be my pick for the race. But yeah, that absolutely. So
he was also my pick for the race.
Yeah. So it would have absolutely. It was just and remembering what he did at Delaware last year when he got into the ride for the final events of the season. It seemed like it, and it was nice that he had a new look on the car too.
Yeah, it was sick, and you can see it. Which way am I? This way. It's there. You go. Yeah. There, right here. It's nice and black. It's sick. It's sexy. I like it.
It does. It looks really good. So congratulations to Brandon for a terrific win. Another first time winner in the Pinty series. That's 3 of them in 2022.
Tied for a record, apparently.
That's pretty.
We were also tied for most single winners. So different winners, I guess you could say, which is 8.
Winners.
Unique. Thank you. Unique winners in a season, which is 8, which is sick.
I believe also this is this year ties the record, other than the first year of the Pinty series, when everybody was a new driver to the series, for the most new drivers to come into the series. So like there's
Really?
a lot, yeah. So there's a
I believe it.
lot of really positive things to get excited about
Mm-hmm.
with the Pinty series moving forward. So
Yeah.
the championship weekend was great again. Pinty's was the highlight of it on the Sunday. Just got started an hour later than originally anticipated because of the rain. But
Mother Nature has such a sense of humor to drop to torrential downpour as we've dried the track, the cars are out, national anthems playing. You feel like a little trinkle. I'm like, no, it's nothing. It's gonna pass. Torrential downpour during
yeah.
anthems.
Yep, just as it's ending. But yeah, you know, whatever. Everybody goes and hides for a while. Then the cars come out, dry the track off, and we go. It's just an hour later than anticipated. So
that wreck
oh,
in the closing laps.
Holy
when was
smokes.
the last time we saw a wreck like that in the series?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while since a car got like airborne.
Launched up in the air like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it is usually a confluence of circumstances that cause that. And that's what happened here is Rafael Lessard got squeezed or got turned, ran out of room, and everybody ran out of room. And then Andrew Ranger drove over Alex Tagliani, and it was kind of a cluster fudge from that point on. So, but yeah, it was quite a mess.
Was jaw on floor, like never seen a wreck like that. Actually, no, I have seen a wreck like that because I was in Daytona in 2020, but that close with your own eyes. It's
I've had people ask me about crashes and wrecks in whatever series and stuff a few times, and you see and you watch and you see the cars colliding and stuff, and I said what kind of gets to me, and I've heard it a few times, this wasn't the worst one. It's the sound sometimes, as much as seeing what is going on in a crash or a wreck or whatever verbiage you want to use. It is often the sound of an impact that gets my attention more than, it's like, that could be bad.
Yeah.
And you pay attention a little more when you hear a certain sound.
When I was in Daytona in 2020 and Newman hit the catch fence, that is a sound.
Oh,
that and the sound of his car getting hit while airborne by Corey LaJoie. That sound is embedded in my brain for the rest of my days, especially because it's like, that was such a bad hit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't forget the sounds. And it's like, it's crazy because when you're at a racetrack and you're just working and there's other series going on around you, the second you hear anything that's like, oh, that's a crash, everybody's heads turn because everybody knows the sound.
That's right. And that's what I mean. So you'll watch it and you'll see it, and visually it's sensory overload, but it is often the sound that gets your attention. Even a single car crash, when you hear a driver hit the wall at a certain track, and sometimes it's the angle, often it is the speed, but just that, and you pay attention to make sure that
LP at Newfoundland this year.
Oh, that was
it's like I was up in the suites and it was like I heard him hit the wall.
Yeah.
Or I heard something hit the wall. I didn't know it was him, but then I heard him hit the water canisters or whatever the hell they're called. That's right. Yeah. And it was like, oh, that's a nasty crash. And then it just kept going. And it's like.
So this naturally leads us toward the discussion of safety, which of course has been a prominent topic in the NASCAR Cup Series for the last week or two. Is there a place that you would like to begin this discussion, or do you want to just leap in?
I think we should just leap in.
Okay, then let's leap in. So safety, everything I have seen with NASCAR, safety is such an important concern. It's you can say that, you know, it's the number one concern, it's our first priority, and those are great cliche catchphrases, but in this case it also happens to be very true. Having worked at it for a while, and you get to see it too up close, the things that are done, the small details and attention paid to safety is remarkable. I mean, to many it would be is this really necessary? It seems kind of redundant, but it is that repetition that brings about a safer environment. Simple things like reminding drivers to index your wheel and pull on it and show that the NASCAR official at the end of pit lane that your belts are harnessed and everything is ready to go before you get out onto the track for the first time. Every single race, safety is an enormous concern. Even after a wreck, for instance, this was one that stuck out with me a number of years ago. A NASCAR official was with a tape measure measuring the distance between the roll bars and cage for the driver and the bodywork to see if it had moved and how much it had moved after the impact. So like, this is the kind of detail that goes into safety in terms of NASCAR, and not just NASCAR, but all series as well. Some are better than others, but it is an important detail. So while it sounds salacious to have drivers ripping on a sanctioning body saying they don't care, in that instance, they are talking out of their ass. To say they don't care is irresponsible. That is not true. Can you do more? You can always do more. But I find it laughable to suggest that a series would deliberately put you in harm's way. So that's my starting point.
That is a good starting point. And I want to detour a little bit and ask your opinion on this. Did you see Jordan Anderson's wreck at Talladega?
Yeah, crazy.
Should he or should he not have unbuckled himself before hitting the wall? Because a lot of people online are like, he should, like, why was he unbuckled and trying to get out of the car before? It's like, what are you going to do when you're on fire?
Well,
like,
and that's it. I mean, he's trying to react the best way he can.
I think it saved his life.
Well, quite possibly. We won't know, but unless you can, somehow model and reenact it. But you don't know exactly what stage of unbuckle he was at any given point when the fire had penetrated into the cockpit. And if you're on fire, you're getting out of that truck in this case.
And you can't see where he's going.
And that's the other difficulty is you think that maybe you're coming to a stop and you can't see that you're coming close to the inside barrier, which I believe thankfully had a safer barrier on it. So like these are the things you don't know. You're trying to react and that's why.
And adrenaline's pumping and you're just like, get out, get out, get out.
And that's why all these small details are reminded of everyone at the beginning of every race. Remember, make sure your belts are buckled, be aware of where the access points are on the track so safety vehicles can get to you. If you can, pull close to one, like be aware of these things. These are all important pieces of the puzzle that go into it. So, can this new next gen car be made safer? Of course, cars can always be made safer. Is there something in the construction that they didn't necessarily notice that would be helpful if it's changed? Yes, but you have to remember too, you can't just say, oh, change this to that, because you don't know the effect of that change on the other pieces of the puzzle. It has to be tried and tested first. So this immediate snap judgment of, oh, just fix this and do that, change this to that, is again, you're talking out of your ass. You don't just do something, especially when it comes to safety.
And what about people that are saying, why don't we just go back to the old car? The second they realized that this car was unsafe, why didn't we just go back?
Okay, so are we saying that this car is unsafe? Has that conclusion been drawn? I don't know that we're ready to go there because it behaves better than the old car in a number of other instances in terms of crashes. There is less chance of the driver being injured in a lot of other instances. Hey, head injuries and concussions, it is a very serious issue and it should not be taken lightly, and everything should be done to help protect the driver and make it as safe as possible. Again, is there something that can be done better? Let's look at it. I'm fine with that, but don't just change it arbitrarily, because then you're screwing with everything else and you may have an unintended consequence of a catastrophic nature.
Yeah, this isn't just oh, this is safe, this is safe, this is safe, and this is safe. Let's just put them in a mixing pot and make it
Right.
all like what we think is all safe, because something that makes it safe in this regard could make it unsafe in this regard. So it's like you have to make sure everything is working in harmony to as safe as it can possibly be without adding something into the mixing pot that could just blow a car up.
One of the few things I remember from physics is that every action
I never took physics.
Well, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So it doesn't, directly apply, but it's okay, if we take this action, what are the other actions that occur because of that? And that's the point I'm making in terms of safety. You don't just change it because you think it will be better. It's got to be tried and tested first. And then it has to be implemented across all of the teams in the same manner.
And that's expensive.
And time consuming.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in the blink of an eye.
It's like these teams, back to the like people online saying like, well, why don't they just go back to the old car? They have all these cars. No, all those cars have gone on to Xfinity teams.
Yeah,
and
no, they don't.
NASCAR Pinty's teams, and they've all been pushed down the line of succession to other series that run that type of car. They don't own those cars anymore unless, okay, maybe Hendrick has a couple lying around in the shop for JD or Junior Motorsports. So it's like, but to swap it mid-season, which would be an implication on the championship.
Oh, it's crazy.
Swap it mid-season would be millions of dollars to teams and to NASCAR to just switch it.
Right.
For what, half a season? Because NASCAR has said they are going to implement these changes come 2023. There are changes being made to the next gen car.
That the research is ongoing. It never stops. And that's the part about safety, is just you can always find ways to make it better and to make improvements. So this we don't care nonsense is crazy. The other funny part of it, of course, is that Kevin Harvick, who is very outspoken, just happens to get dinged for a penalty that's going to cost him $100K, and his crew chief is suspended, and it's going to cost him a whole bunch of money,
points and
all the championship points and everything. So to the conspiracy theorists that figure that NASCAR is persecuting Kevin Harvick, no, I don't think so. But if you're going to be as outspoken as Kevin Harvick will say, to put it mildly, have your shit together.
Yeah.
Don't be the least bit illegal or questionable when you're going through tech. That's just stupid on your part. He without sin should cast the first stone. So that's again, it applies here. So if you want to speak out about something, absolutely go ahead. I love it when drivers have a personality. Yes. But don't be saying, oh, well, we'll just, we should just change this. We should adjust this and be doing it kind of trying to improve your performance outside of the box. No, that'll get you a big ticket.
Yeah. It's like they find anything questionable on that car, it's going to R&D. Sorry.
Well, that's just dumb on their part. That's great if you want to, test the limits and everything. That's great. But if they find you illegal, boy, are they going to throw the book at you, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how this all plays out in terms of safety. But there will be improvements coming, but there's always more improvements coming for safety. But we'll see what happens in this. And hey, if you want to appeal your suspension and all the rest of it, then we'll have to see if they do that too.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to ask you about this because you've just completed it. I did it earlier this year from storage to a new location, but you just finished moving. Is that an adventure as always, or what?
I gave my notice to my apartment begin mid-July. So, and in Ontario, you have to give 60 days. So that would bring me to the end of September. And I'm like, I have 2.5 weeks off in between the final two events. That'll be fine. I'm glad I did it because it meant not having another month of just paying for an apartment. I honestly haven't used this apartment since January, really. Right. January, February.
Yeah.
It meant not having to pay for basically what was a glorified storage locker. I'm glad I did it because now I'm out and I can enjoy not having just this weight anymore.
Right.
But it was tight. I was there, I think maybe the Thursday, like the 29th, and I had to be out the 30th. And I was like cleaning and packing up. Like I had like my walk-in closet that still had like that was just filled with stuff I had to go through, stuff I had like needed to donate, just all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I definitely like to make this not stressful because moving is never really stressful for me. I generally enjoy moving because it's new beginnings. You get to like
hell.
I like it. I like the planning. I like the like looking at like a floor plan and getting to decide where you're going to put things and, making shopping lists. Like, I like that. I like the idea of new beginnings.
That part of it. Yes.
Yes. So the hassle of having to get your friends together and get a moving truck and all this stuff, you're going to disagree with me on this, but I even like packing.
Oh, well. You're my first call next time I move. I'm telling you.
My family makes fun of me every single time because I didn't this time because it was all just going in a storage locker.
Yeah.
But I usually have like a really good system of packing where I know what is in every single box.
Yeah, that helps for sure.
Yeah. And it's like I like doing it.
Okay, so you're right. You're a pretty organized person, same way, and I like to do that too. You try to, when you're packing boxes for a move and everything, you try to keep it as organized as possible. There's always it's funny because as you're unpacking and organizing too, there's always a surprise. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about this, or oh, I didn't know I put this in here. So you get that and everything, but it is stressful as hell. So you had 60 days. Piece of cake. That's nothing. That's easy. My
mixing about a COVID and
this was pre-COVID, but I sold a place. I got an offer to sell my condo. This was a couple years ago, and it's like, all right, basically, they're giving me what I'm asking for it. Like, okay, so we're gonna sell it. He said, there's one catch. We got to close in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks to pack up all your shit?
I guess I don't have any choice. Okay. So it was night and day for 2 weeks, and everything was going into storage or consignment or donate. It was a frenzy, and it was crazy. Got it done, but it was let's just say a very busy 2 weeks. But so now in the spring was when everything came out of storage and into the new place, which was, again, it's just that's when I got I forgot about this, and I remember that. It's like, this will go here and this will look great. So I get that excitement part of it, but it is just packing up your entire life into boxes and containers and transferring it to another location is a bit of a challenge, to say the least.
It is. And it is, especially when it's like, I've always just moved it being myself, basically, except for maybe like once in my life.
Yeah.
Of it just being myself. So it's not like I don't have a lot of stuff, but it's like I can fill up a U-Haul with all of my stuff, like easy peasy.
It's no
One
problem.
thing I will say was trying to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
Was a joke. Because the amount of people that would just message you and not message you back. But what I was surprised about was the amount of scammers.
Oh yeah.
I had probably like 2 or 3 times that I had somebody that I was conversing with trying to sell, whether it was my couch or a bookshelf or my bed frame, trying to sell it and having like actual conversations, not thinking anything of it. And then being like, okay, yeah, this person's going to come and pick it up. And then them being, can I send you a code? I want to make sure you're real. And I'm like,
yeah, no.
And then Facebook, I have a lot of grief with Facebook right now. Facebook is the bane of my existence, but reporting them to Facebook and Facebook being like, our technology didn't find anything wrong. Read the fucking message.
Yeah.
Like, this person is asking you, this is like borderline scam, minus the fact that you go to their profile and it was made 2 days ago. It's like,
coincidence?
This is borderline don't talk to people on the internet and open links that people send you.
Yeah. But there's a scam everywhere. Which just I got in the last while, I've had I don't know how many text messages saying, you know, my Amazon account has been frozen, and you know, click this link to, yeah, sure, I'll get
mine
right
is
on that.
the Canadian Revenue Agency, or I get the Canadian Revenue Agency is sending you money, and
sure, yeah,
your package is at customs and you need to pay duties on it, and I'm like, I didn't order anything.
Happens all the time. Yeah,
it's a joke.
Yeah, it's frustrating. So I'm going to tell you another frustration, just because it just happened to me 5 minutes before we started this.
Oh gosh.
And it makes me crazy. So for email on my computer, I use the Outlook program. It's fine, it's efficient, I like the way it is. Every few months, Microsoft Outlook will say, hey, new Outlook, try new Outlook, use new Outlook, switch to new Outlook, and it will pop up and have a message on your email program until you try it. I've tried it. I don't like it. I keep sending them notes that saying, please stop making me try this. I have tried it and I don't care for it, and here's why. Please stop. I've had enough. Go away. It's crazy.
Oh man, I use Outlook for work as well, and I have never seen those.
Oh, but maybe you're using the new Outlook, and I continue to use the previous version.
It's very possible.
Like it. I'm happy with it. I like it. It's good. I've tried the new one. For some reason, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to keep using the old one until, of course, inevitably at some point they'll say the former version of Outlook is no longer available. You must make the switch, and that's inevitably going to happen. So, but until then, I guess I'll hold out.
Yeah, you're going to hold your foot down and be like, yeah.
Hey, it's working for me, so I'm good.
Did you go to any fun food places while we were in Delaware?
Honestly, no, I didn't. It was grab and go, just because it was busy and stuff was going on. And by the time I think you left the track Sunday night even later than I did. And it was 10 o'clock and I'm leaving. And it's like, I already checked. I know nothing is open. It's just, so it's, handheld quick food, and that's what it is. I got in Friday night, and Friday night was food at the hotel, which we stay at the Sheridan. And it's got a nice restaurant. The restaurant is very nice. The breakfast is great. Like, I do like it. So we ate there, and then we did actually go somewhere Saturday night when like a bunch of the international people came in. Oh, we went to this wine and dine the international folks. Yeah. Well, it was girls' night. It was just the girls went out for dinner. I know. We went to this, actually, I can't remember the name of it, but this really cute Italian place downtown London, right by, and it was Western homecoming that weekend, so you've got a bunch of drunk college students running around downtown London. It's right by the Jack Astors. Yeah. And it's literally in an old house. It's like you walk in and it feels like you're in a house, and it was great food. The wine was really good. It was really nice. Very cozy. I made the joke that it felt like I was in a Hallmark movie. Of like, this is the restaurant that the protagonists because we're almost at the season, like as soon as we get through Halloween, it's going to start. Are you a fan of those Hallmark movies? I used to be, and it's funny because we've had a lot of Hallmark movies filmed in my hometown. It's an incredible industry. It is insane. Absolutely unbelievable. I do like them. Apparently Lindsay Lohan has a Hallmark movie coming out this year. Probably. Yeah. I saw that on Netflix. They are they're predictable, which is apparently what people like about them. They all follow the same sort of formula, and there is, a standard routine that they follow. A little bit cringy, I find them hysterical just to watch in the few minutes occasionally when I'll see them, but it's just, they are enormously
It's
successful.
insane.
Yeah.
I will say one of my favorite things about Christmas time is like going home and like baking and like the couple days before Christmas. My mom and my sister and I will always just flip on the Hallmark Christmas channel. And
Yeah.
it's like it gets you in the mood. It's like
Okay.
it feels like Christmas. And it's like you got Christmas on the screen, they're celebrating. It's like
I got you.
it feels like Christmas. You got the Christmas tree up, you're baking cookies and
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
it's
So
Christmas.
here we'll end on a food thing then, because Thanksgiving is fast approaching.
Yes.
Depending on when this podcast gets released, it's around
Could
the
have been last
Thanksgiving.
week, could have
Yeah,
been
yeah, right.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
We'll see
anyhow.
when Caitlin has time.
Pumpkin pie, yes or no?
I hate anything pumpkin.
You don't like anything pumpkin?
I can eat pumpkin, like the
Yeah.
squash pumpkin,
Yeah.
but pumpkin spice anything makes my stomach hurt.
Okay, so I enjoy pumpkin pie. I don't need pumpkin in everything I consume for 30 or 60 days, however it is. I enjoy pumpkin pie. This I should also say, this is Canadian Thanksgiving coming up, because the US Thanksgiving is a month and a half away. But I like pumpkin pie. Yeah, turkey, great. I make a fantastic dressing. So that's
salad dressing or like
no, like the stuffing that you
okay.
Now, but I do not stuff it in the bird. I cook it separately.
Okay.
There's some people say that you must do it. Some say it's an old wives' tale. I do it just because the recipe called for it this way, and it's delicious. So now that I've modified the recipe again, but see, that's the other thing. I will take every time I cook something and take a recipe, because I don't bake. I will cook dishes. It's kind of like, I'd like a little more of that, a little less of this. And I always adjust the recipe for my own personal taste.
Yeah. For me, so I'm going home for Thanksgiving this weekend, and we always do the turkey. I think we usually do ham, but that might just be a Christmas thing. My aunt makes a really good cheese broccoli casserole. Always have to have that.
Yeah.
I think we typically also cook. I think it depends who's cooking the turkey. If my mom or my grandmother cook the turkey, the stuffing's always on the side, and it's usually box stuffing.
Oh,
Which is
no.
But my aunt will always stuff it in the bird.
Okay.
So her stuffing's always really good.
No, I do not stuff it in a bird, and we have a way of doing the turkey as well. Because I don't know if you guys, but I brine the turkey if I'm cooking turkey.
You brine the turkey, like you'll
put it in a bath of salt water for 24 hours.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Amazing.
Well, I always do when I'm doing my seasoning my turkey. It's always a crap ton of butter and a crap ton of mayonnaise, and you put all your seasonings in it and you spread it out over the turkey. I never brine it because most turkeys come brined.
Fresh turkey, brine it. Fantastic. So we'll have to arrange a Thanksgiving sampling meal at some point.
Yes, at some point. Yes. I will say my roommate, we had like a Friendsgiving last week because most of us are going home for Thanksgiving.
Good.
He made a stuffed pumpkin that had like she cut up like a baguette and all that stuff. She put Gruyere cheese, bacon, chives, all that. It was really good.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So things to think about, and we'll explore more food options on our next podcast in the next week or two, or whenever.
We wouldn't have gone anywhere, so we'll just review our Thanksgiving dinners.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm leaving Southern Ontario for Florida in the next few days.
You suck.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Disclaimer. The opinions on the Racin It Out podcast from Caitlin and from Todd strictly represent their views. They do not represent the views of NASCAR, either international or NASCAR Canada, TSN, Rev TV, all of the other properties and entities that we may or may not work with currently or in the future. We do not want to be sued. We did not libel anyone. And our goal is strictly to engage, have good conversation, and, maybe exchange a recipe or two.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure I'll have lots of recipes to give to you after the holidays. Oh my God. See, now you have me having Hallmark movies.
You're already into the holiday mode. Okay.
I'm sorry. I am one of those people, and this will be a conversation for next podcast because we can't get into it now. Right. I'm one of the people that the second Halloween's over, actually the second Remembrance Day's over and my birthday's over.
Yeah.
Get me a Christmas tree.
Okay. We're into that the next podcast.
Yep.